What's up YouTube? I'm Adrian the Barber and I'm back with another haircut tutorial today. I'll be doing a comb over, high bald fade comb over haircut. I'll be showing you guys a little bit of work with the shears. In no way am I a master at using shears. I've only been using shears for maybe 2 years at the most. So, you know, I know a little bit with the shears, and so I'm gonna show you guys a little bit of what I know. And then in the future, I'll do another video, kind of like more in depth showing you guys shear work. But I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get into this. You see I got my boy Gus sitting in the chair. As always, where I start out all my videos, finding the direction of the hair, combing the hair down, comb it or brush it. It really doesn't matter either way. And now I'm gonna use detachable blade clippers and I'm gonna use adjustable blade clippers. With the detachables, I have my 5-0 blade on here and I'm really just making my guideline. With both my guidelines I'm making this video, they're both gonna be with detachable blade clippers. So for instance, right here I have a 5-0 blade on my BGRCs, and then my second guideline I'm gonna use a number 1 blade. So again, just gonna go ahead, bald the client. This is our first step. We're gonna set ourselves up with the perfect canvas that we can go in and when we start our fade. So let's make an even guideline all the way around the head. And again, I'm watching this video with you, kind of coaching you through it, giving you some tips. Again, if you guys got questions or you get confused with anything I say, hit me up with a message or a comment. You know, I'll be happy to answer that. So I made my guideline all the way around his head. And now I'm gonna make a second guideline. And this is my number 1 blade on my Andis BGRCs. If you don't have a detachable blade clipper and you have like an Andis master, then you can just open your master all the way up and that would be equal to a number 1 blade. So don't get scared away if you don't use detachable blade clippers. I can help you along the way and kind of give you what you can substitute with. Now I have my number 1 guard on my Andis masters, and I'm starting with this all the way open. And so I'm gonna fade from the top down. So I'm going all the way up to the point to where I wanna stop, to where I wanna blend into the hair. And I'm starting there, and I'm just gonna work my blade, or my guard down. So you see I'm about halfway down now. And I'm just feathering the hair. You guys, if you've seen my other haircut tutorials, I said it before, you know, I'm just feathering the hair real light-handed with the clippers. You don't see my client's head bobbling around. You know, I'm not putting a whole bunch of pressure into it, just real soft, and just working my guard down. So I started with the lever all the way open with number 1 guard. After I went and did that part, I went down halfway, same number 1 guard, and now I went down all the way closed. And all the way closed on the number 1 is not gonna blend that line out all the way, but we're just working our way down slowly. We're gonna work our way all the way back down to that initial guideline we made with the 5-0. So now I have my 0 guard on my Andis masters and all the way open, doing the same thing I just did with my number 1. I'm just working my way down a little bit lower each time. And now I'm going halfway, doing the same thing, working that line, and I'm getting closer and closer to that second guideline that I made with my number 1 blade. So the next step, when I close my masters all the way with this 0 guard on, that should blend out most of that line that you made with your number 1 blade. And right here, I just went all the way closed. And now as you see, it's starting to really take out a lot of that line that I made with my number 1. Again, if you don't have a Andis detachable blade clipper or Oster, you know, you can make all the same measurements with your clippers with your master. For instance, like an OA blade would be equal to your masters being halfway open. 3-0 blade will be equal to your masters being all the way closed, and the number 1 blade will be equal to your masters being all the way open. And you see how I'm starting to get that line out of there now. Now I take my guard off. Since I got that first line out, now I'm gonna work my way back down to that first guideline that I made, the initial one with the 5-0. And so I'm same thing, working my way down. So I open up my masters all the way, and I'm gonna start to flick out that line. And then I'm gonna go halfway, flick it out some more, and then all the way close. And that should take out the rest of that line that I have left. So this is a different fading technique that I've been using in my previous videos. This video I actually recorded probably 6 months ago. And so, you know, every few months or so, I may change up the way I fade, you know, just kind of depending on how I feel. But see, I'm just about all the way closed now, and I'm starting to just blend out that bottom line that I made with my 5-0. Again, if you guys got questions, comments, you know, go ahead and hit me up. I'm always answering. You know, I try to answer every comment I can. I want to make sure that if you guys got questions, if I confuse you with anything, that you get that question answered. So now the part that everybody wants to do, everybody wants to use a shaver. I always use a shaver at the end. Most of the time I use it at the end. Sometimes I use it in the beginning after I do my initial bald. But like for instance with this haircut, I fade it all the way down backwards, and now I take my shaver and I go right up just below the line, where my initial guideline was, and I just get all the stubble. And then that's gonna elevate your fade to the next level if you do it right. And you can see my technique that I used in there. I was flicking it just like I was flicking my clippers. And now I'm moving on to the back of his head. The back of his head, I just had my #1 blade on there. Man, I'm talking too much. I'm getting behind. Same technique on the back. Have my #1 guard back on and all the way open. Blending into the top of the hair right away, so I know where my fade stops at. This technique helps so you don't take the fade too high. So basically you're starting at the finish point, at the highest point you want your fade, and then you're just working your way back down. So now you're gonna work it back down all the way to the skin. So you see, I work my way from my 1 guard to my 0 guard to no guard. You know, all of them are all the way open, work it close, all the way open, work it close, all the way open, work it close. Same technique all the way around the head. Now back with my 0 guard, all the way open. And I'm gonna work this back down to blend out that second guideline that I made with my #1 blade. So you see in a lot of my videos, I use a good mix of detachable blades and adjustable blades. I'm gonna do some videos on here where I just use adjustables, and I'm gonna do some videos where I just use detachables. So, you know, whatever you prefer to use, make sure that you stay on the lookout for those videos. Again, work my way all the way closed with my 0 guard. Now I'm gonna go down no guard, clippers all the way open, and I'm gonna work on this bottom line. Start to blend this out. Halfway open now. Same technique. You see how I got my clipper? I keep my clippers flush to the head. Some good shots in this video where how you can see kind of the way my blade lies on the head and the way that I flick my wrist and blend out that line. Again, the back of the head, man, a lot of people run into problems in the back. It can be tricky because you're not fading just a flat surface anymore. Now you're fading a round surface. And so my best advice to people is just kind of take it in small steps until you can get a good technique to where you can blend that line out totally. I know, like when I used to have trouble in the back, I would always, you know, I'd break the back into sections, either like 2 or 3 sections. It might take a little bit longer, but when you're trying to learn how to cut hair, and you want to learn how to do things the right way, you know, you might have to take those extra steps that take a little bit longer to get a haircut done, so you can get a good product. Again, you know, pay attention to my blade. You see I'm keeping it flush to the head. I don't have my clipper angled up, you know, messing up my adjustments. And now after I get that all faded out, go in again with my shaver. You do not have to, like, I put pressure on the bottom, like towards his neck, more than I do when I get up towards that line, because you don't want to create another hard line with the shaver. It's so easy to do it, and you see how I'm flicking it, just like I would my master or any other clipper I'd be fading with. But if you create a hard line with these shavers, they're so hard to get out, especially if you don't, like, if you're new with shavers and you don't know the tricks to get those shaver lines out, man, you really get yourself into some problems. And so you really got to be light-handed the higher up you get, closer to like your initial guideline. And you want to kind of remember where you started that initial guideline so you don't go higher than that with the shaver. And now on the right side, I already showed you guys the technique on the left side. And so let's kind of speed through this a little bit, just for timing purposes. I don't want to hold you guys here for 45 minutes. When you implement the same exact steps on the right side as you did just on that left side and on the back. And so I kind of speed through this side a little bit. You see I have my guards on, blend that line out, still going down, using the same technique all the way around the head. Now back with my shaver. Like I said, if you're new with shavers, man, like, be careful. Proceed with caution. I know when I first started using shavers, I'd get myself into those holes where I couldn't even get out. Like, I would get stuck. I'd put that hard line in there and I wouldn't know what to do. I'd be sitting there with my trimmers and everything, hitting it, and the line still wouldn't come out. It sucked. And so make sure you're careful. So now I'm gonna trim down his hairline. I got my 1/8 blade. And if you don't have detachable blade clippers, a lot of times if you just have adjustable guards, I'll put on like the 0 guard, or like if you got walls, the half guard, and I'll use those to kind of trim down people's lines. Always start with them open. You know, if they don't take as much off as I like, then I'll just close them a little bit till I find the level that I like. And now just going through, lining it up. Same technique, you know, tapping and pulling away. Trying to stay on the natural hairline as much as possible. Like I said, it's always a good question to ask your clients. Not everybody's hairline is perfect. Like you're gonna run into more people with imperfect hairlines than you are with perfect hairlines. And so I always leave it up to the client. You know, I'll line it up natural, and then, you know, if they want me to push something back and even it up, then I'll do that. But I always leave it up to the client before I go back and make any slight adjustments on the hairline. Again, just tapping, pulling away, knocking out that first that horizontal line. You see, I started at my corners and came in. Started my corner and came in. Now I'm gonna go to the middle and then come around the middle off. And there's a reason for that, and I'll explain that in another video. The next lineup tutorial, I'll explain that. So make sure you subscribe to the channel so that way you get the notifications every time the new videos come out. I got a ton of videos coming out. Like I said, every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, I'm uploading new videos. So you guys make sure you subscribe. Just been back on YouTube for like a month now, and it's going well so far, man. I'm happy to be back, happy to be making these videos again. So now I'm gonna style his hair. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna trim it down. So I'm gonna do a little bashir work here. And really, I'm just trimming his hair. I'm gonna be all over. I wouldn't really teach you guys to cut like this because it's easy to get, this is like an unorganized way of cutting, I say. It's easy to get lost when I'm just jumping around because I'm really just trimming his hair. I'm not taking a bunch off, just evening up a little bit. See, I created my point in the beginning and I'm just going back, I'm just following my point. Like I said, I'm gonna do a more in-depth shear tutorial. Showing you guys just like the basics of cutting, of shear cutting, because it is important to know. You never know, you gotta be prepared for whoever's gonna come in the shop and sit in your chair. So, it's good to learn. Now right here, after I use the shears, I'm just gonna go through and I'm gonna thin it out. And I'm just gonna take it in small sections, just because his hair was kind of wavy, because it had gotten a little long. And so this kind of knocks out that wave that he has when I try to comb it over. And see, I'm just going down the middle, just section by section, combing the front up, grabbing another section, going just about halfway down and thinning it out. And then I'm gonna move over to his right side. I'm gonna do the same exact technique. I'm just gonna grab a chunk, comb it forward, get it out the way, and then grab my next section, thin it, just work my way back. and then I'm gonna go on the left side of his head. So middle, right, left. And that's really how you're supposed to cut with shears when you're just learning. You know, it helps you stay organized. And so really when I was cutting with the shears, I should have, you know, took it down the middle and made my guide, and then came to the right, to the left, and then over to the ridges and cut that down. So when I make a more in-depth tutorial, I'll do it that way. And now to style it, I just got his hair damp, not soaking wet, just enough that the pomade mixes into his hair well. You see, I just put a little bit of pomade on my hand. Sometimes I'll squirt a little bit of water into the pomade, just rub it in, and just make sure that, you know, the head gets evenly coated with the pomade so that you can style it appropriately. Again, just rubbing all that pomade that you got in your hands into their head, distributing it evenly throughout his head. You don't want to get it all gloopy in certain spots, and you know, have the hair all slick and together in one spot and then kind of apart in another. And then we're just going to comb it over. You see from the back, I kind of comb it forward slightly, and then I'm combing all this over to the left side. And then when I get to the front, I'm just gonna take my comb and I'm just gonna flip it up and over, as you see I'm doing right here. And so you get that little cool flip over effect everybody's doing. And really, when you're styling, you're just kind of playing with it and getting it just exactly how you want it. So here's the final cut. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's it. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. This has been Agent the Barber. I'm out.